So the biggest financial event is about to hit and rock your world, and you're not even prepared for it. We need to talk about this.
Welcome to HVAC Greatness, your weekly source for HVAC business excellence. By subscribing and tuning in here, you'll get insider access to proven strategies, tips, and insights for the HVAC business owner who's tired of the stress and frustrations and struggles that are common to HVAC. Let's redesign your new, highly organized, and hugely profitable HVAC business where being an owner is fun again.
Hey guys, Pete here. So you've heard about all the murmurings on what's happening in the financial world, what's happening with the US dollar. And we're hearing things about bank closures, and we're hearing things about the petrodollar going away. And we're hearing that it could actually mess us up in our cash flow and the system actually be turned off for a while. And as business owners, we really have to be prepared. Actually, we should be prepared as heads of your household. We got to be prepared to deal with some of this stuff. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the news that's out there. And while I cannot make any financial advice or give any financial advice, just kind of tell you what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and how I'm preparing, because this is going to affect you guys. First of all, let's jump into some of the news here. They call it the Great Reset. It's called the Great Reset. And so what is this? Well, you know, instead of getting into this, because this can be a little bit conspiratorial. And by the way, Pete kind of leans that way on some of what's going on. But this is a group of people who've decided they're going to reset our economy. And when they do so, they're going to do it in a way where it's more centralized, where basically they have more control. And this could be potentially a problem, but it appears that it's well on its way, and we're going to be moving into a different financial system. So I'm going to skim through this real quick because I want to get to the point. When the economy is affected by this, traditionally there has been a formula, and I've heard it referred to as problem, reaction, solution, which means this big problem comes up and everybody gets all upset about it because they're stressed. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And after they've simmered for long enough, here comes our governments to the rescue with their solution, and the people readily embrace it, which was the plan to begin with. And so we've seen that happen in history. If you're not familiar with that, kind of look around, look at some of the history stuff. This goes way back to World War II for sure, Vietnam, a lot of the stuff that's been happening. But anyway, so they have a saying, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So they will convert into this new system. There's Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. He's involved in this mess heavily. And so are some of the big names out there. Okay, so the US dollar, we're seeing it to continue to sink. And oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to explain this. If you're driving, don't look over at this, but essentially we're seeing all this drop in terms of the US dollar. We're seeing that things are affecting, and the dollar is going to lose its value worldwide. It is the standard for money all over the world, and used to, they called it the petrodollar. The only way that you could buy petroleum is with US dollars, which means that all these countries had to go get dollars, and that's changing. So here's something called BRICS, BRICS, and this is a group of nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and I've heard that others are wanting to get in there as well. Mexico is one, and so this is a group of other countries who are tired of the US dollar, and they want to come in with a system that they can, go around the US dollar, because they don't want the dollar anymore. And so the BRICS groups, you see right here, makes up about 41% of the global population. So almost half the world live in these other countries. But they only account for about 16% of the world trade. They're not as rich as the United States and whatnot, but together they're very powerful. And so this is creating some challenges as well, because what's going to happen is they're going to spend their dollars. They're probably going to come to the United States and start buying up land and stuff like this, but that gets into a whole other topic. But the point is, we're going to see inflation, which we're already seeing. We're going to see, a recession, if not a complete depression, and if this continues to go like it's going. Now comes out what we call the digital U.S. dollar, and I think this is going to be the solution, because they're saying that this will put everything into control. But essentially, your paper dollars are going to go away, which, dollars are only debt, guys. These are IOUs. And if you know the history of money and how real money is gold and silver, and how the games that they played over the years, all the way back in Nixon, they took us off the gold standard. President Nixon, back in the must have been late 60s, early 70s, and before he was impeached. But he took us off that standard and refused to give the gold back to countries like Germany and the like. And it's pretty interesting, the history, if you want to go study some of that. But they want to introduce a United States central bank digital currency, the CBDC, if you've been hearing about this. And so essentially, they're going to be able to control the dollars. Now, this means those cash jobs go bye-bye. You're going to get taxed on everything, and they'll control this. And if you don't play ball, they have the power to shut you off. So this is kind of dangerous, okay? And this is why on cryptocurrencies, decentralized currency is what people want to deal with. They don't want it centralized. They want the freedom to transact. And of course, the government's responses are, well, that's black market, that's criminal activity, that's drugs, and people trafficking and all kind of stuff like that. But that's what they're playing, that game. But there are some requirements that they need to get implemented, and there's some advantages and disadvantages. But interesting, FedNow, which is part of the Federal Reserve, they have announced that coming July of this year, instant payments are going to be available, which means digital. When you pay instantly, this means digital. And the liquidity has been the issue. Liquidity means I used to go to the Western Union and exchange and buy dollars when I was traveling abroad. And I remember them opening up the drawer, and they had 7 $100 bills. That's all the U.S. dollars that they had. And so that's all the liquidity they had, and that's all they could exchange, because they're limited, because they have to have much more U.S. dollars in that drawer if they can do business with me, and I want to buy more, right? So they're kind of limited to what they have on hand. Well, the liquidity, these are issues because people are always having to buy multi-currencies and trade this stuff back and forth, or these institutions rather. And so with FedNow, all that's supposed to be handled, and you can have a payment literally instantly or in seconds. So digital, beep, there it is in your account. And we've seen that with programs like Zelle and stuff like that. So we know that this technology exists. And so I wanted to go into cryptos because this is what's coming. This is one of the things that you probably, or I shouldn't say you, I'm not giving advice here, I've considered, and this is kind of what the result is. Bitcoin is the rave. It's been the rave for a long time. I own none. I don't believe in it. Ethereum is kind of like the fuel for a lot of these cryptocurrencies. And so it's gasoline. And so you kind of have to have some of that to do these transactions. Okay. And there's some other ones in here, but this one right here, XRP, was set up by a company called Ripple, and they have contracts. This software is so powerful. It's absolutely the leader of all of this, but yet it sits down here at number 6. It looks like the liquidity at this point is 159. No, this is how much it's moving around. I don't know what the liquidity is on this without clicking into it, but It's number 6 in terms of total, and the entire market cap is 1.3 trillion. So, and this is nothing, guys. Once we see this shift, these technologies, certain technologies, are going to be taken over, and the big winner appears to be XRP. And there's a couple of others I'll mention here in just a second, but let me talk to you about why. This is Ripple here, and you can see some of the country there. These are all under contract. I mean, major financial institutions all over the world. This is proven technology. Now, the problem is, a couple of years ago, the Security and Exchange Commission of the United States sued Ripple, calling it a security. And so this has been dragging on, and it's clearly not. And most of the experts know this. Here's John Deaton, who he's been really active. He's an attorney, and he's talking about potential outcomes. But he's always announcing everything else. But essentially, the outcome pretty much is, it looks like the win is in the bag for Ripple, or at least a settlement in their favor. And what this means is, Ripple, which governs XRP, they handle all that, are going to be the only regulated cryptocurrency in the world. So more than likely, this is no accident that they chose them. I had invested in XRP before this lawsuit, but once they settle, once this is done, they'll be the only one that's regulated, that's safe. And that means that for those who've been holding back to invest in cryptos because there's no regulation and they don't want to lose their money, money is going to pour into this particular digital asset. And so that creates a lot of different conversations and things of this nature, but it looks like we're at the end of that, and it could be as early as this month. Now, he's saying sometimes toward the end of June or July, or they're saying, but it could happen at any time. And he's talking about the different potential possibilities. In my opinion, he says, the first possible outcome is an outright Ripple win, where the judge says there's no investment contract involved. There's no post-duty sale obligations. According to Deaton, Judge Analisa Torres could also rule that Ripple violated securities laws in the early years for a specific time, but conclude that XRP, the digital currency, doesn't qualify as securities in today's secondary sales. The third outcome is that the SEC wins outright, which according to Deaton is highly unlikely. And he's quoted as saying, I got that at 0. That's now maybe that's now maybe I shouldn't have it that low. Okay, but that's how confident I am about the meaning, that ridiculous theory up there. So they're doing this stuff. They're comparing it. They call it the Howey test, and this goes way back to the farming days, is what the definition of a security is. And because they have to redefine that, and it looks like it's going to be the Ripple test to replace that. So how do you actually invest in some of this? And by the way, when this breaks, we're sitting here right now. Let's look at XRP on the 24 hours. It's gone up a little bit, but let's look at the last 12 months. It had been within 12 months, right at 80 cents. And actually it was $1 or something at one point, but it when this lawsuit came in, when this lawsuit came in, it really hurt. And so it's been hovering here around the 50 cent mark for the last 3 months, maybe. Let's look here. Yeah, so it's jumped up to 50 cents from about 30 cents because some of this stuff is starting to come out. But how do you buy this? And this is interesting. When they did the lawsuit, a lot of the platforms refused to sell it because they could get in trouble for selling a security. And the biggest and most secure platform is a Coinbase, which is this one right here. And as you can see, they have the price, but you can't, there's no buy button. See that? XRP, it's at 53 cents, but there it is, 27.3 billion. But you can't buy any. They stopped it. And so I had some in here, so I transferred mine out. So if you can't buy it here, where can you buy it? There's some platforms, I think KuCoin, and maybe that was the one, I can't remember. But what you can do, this is probably the most secure platform in the United States. You can come in here, set up your account, and you can buy something like one of these other currencies and actually trade it somewhere else. Let's look at like BitTrue. You can trade it over here, I know. And so you can you set up your wallet here, and you basically receive monies from over here. And how do I do all of this? This is all on YouTube, guys. Just do some research if you're not familiar with this. But one of the ways that you can do this is to take a really popular coin, and one I really like is this one right here, XLM. Stellar XLM. And the guy that started this used to work for Ripple. And this is a complement to XRP. And notice the X. The X ones, not all of them, like XMR, that's more of a privacy coin, but several of the X coins are going to be safe. They're part of this new system that's coming, because this is all technology. So you may want to consider XRP, kind of like the gold, right? And then XLM, which is down here, this is kind of like the silver, and they kind of run together. When XRP goes up, XLM goes up. They run together. And there's one other one called XDC. And this one is kind of like the copper, right? So you got gold, silver, and copper. And it has been so cheap. Look at it down here for 2 cents. And currently it's up to 4 cents. This one, I think the company called R3 that it works with, this is going to be used on a lot of these transactions as well. And it is, it looks like you can get it on BitTrue, KuCoin, some of these other locations. But this is the third X. And there's some other ones out there, but these are the 3 that I'm aware of that are good investments. And so again, because you can't buy them direct, you'll probably want to, you buy, when your cryptocurrency is on a platform like this, you don't own it. You do, but you don't. Technically they could cut you off. So you want to get this on a wallet that you have, they call it the keys for these string of words in a certain order that's just impossible to hack. And when you have the keys or those secret words, then you actually have a wallet. And so the best form to do it is through a hardware wallet like this one, Nano Ledger. I bought one of these, and basically it is a well, let me stop sharing here just a second. It's basically a device that you plug in to your computer, and you punch these little numbers and things like this, ledger, and it's just asking for codes. And so you've got a password that you go in there, and it's not literally in there, because you can lose this, and I keep mine in a thing to protect it. But you can lose that. As long as you have those keys, it's out there on their ledger, the XRP ledger. I know this is pretty foreign stuff to a lot of people, but just kind of go with me here. But that is the most secure way to do that. Now let's go back on this one. There's a couple of different models in here. Let's see here. Compare wallets. Here we go. Let's see if I can get that to pop up here. Yeah, so here's something Stacks. This must be the new one. I do not have this. This is the one I have. That's the Nano X. It's not cheap. And this is the S Plus. This one here will hold just a handful of digital currencies. This will hold more if you want to get into more. And you can see how they rank up here. But you'll want to buy these. If you decide to buy one of these, you buy it directly from the factory. Don't buy this through a third party, because there's always the possibility that it could have been opened up, hacked, and then you could be stolen from later. Buy the original. Buy the original. Now, there's also online wallets, and this is one here I wanted to share with you called Exodus. And I really like Exodus. I have a wallet with this one as well. And you download that on your computer or on your smartphone or whatever, and you can receive money from where you buy elsewhere. So if you go over here, this is kind of cool. And let's say you buy a bunch of Stellar, you buy that, and then, by the way, it takes a couple of days before you can actually move it. It's something in there, the way they're set up. You can buy it. It's like 3 days later before you can actually send it. But once you have that, then you send it. And if you don't have your hardware wallet in yet, I'm sorry, here it is. If you don't have your hardware wallet in yet, this one here you can set up right away, and so you can receive this, and it's relatively safe. They've been around for a long time. Founded in 2015. They've got 260 digital assets. So when you receive your whatever you send over, XLM, if you use a really popular coin like XLM or Bitcoin or Ethereum, Cardano, some of these other ones, you just do a swap within this platform, because they have good liquidity, and you can swap that for XRP. Which, so you buy over here this coin, right? You buy this coin, and you can buy $100. And I think there's a limit on there. So you want it to be at least $100. So I'd put like $120 or something like that. And then once you can send it, you click into your primary balance and hit the send button, and basically you send it over to this wallet here. And once it's in there, you do a swap, basically a trade from one currency to the other. It's really easy to do. I would show you, but I don't want to open up my wallet, because I got to edit all that stuff out. But you just follow the directions. It's like two arrows, one up and one down, and it just trades. And so what this will do is this puts you in a position where you have investment in this software, XRP, probably XLM, and I think XDC you got to go through a different platform like Bitrue, but because that's not on that particular wallet, and it's not on Coinbase. So that's one of those that you want to do some homework, but that's not the main one anyway. The main one is XRP. When they win this deal, it's major game changer. It's at 53 cents right now, guys. I mean, it could jump to $10 to $100 and even beyond in no time as the investments pour into this. So now if the internet goes down and all this stuff goes on, you're not going to be able to have access to that. But the idea is they're going to be transitioning over into this new reset, into this digital system, and that's the currency. That's the software. It's really like think of it as like a dump truck. You load stuff in it, and it takes it over to some other country or bank account or crypto account, and it unloads it, boom, like that. And it's instant. It's the fastest one. It carries, the technology is fantastic. It carries multiple times more than any other crypto out there, especially like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's slow, or it has been historically, but this one is the one that I've invested in. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, and several people, if you've heard my stuff before, I've talked about that. Be careful of meme coins. I had a bunch of XRP at one point, and there was a meme coin that was really hot, and I invested a bunch of money in it. I traded my XRP for it, lost it. It was a big scam, and so you got to be careful. It's quite risky. So, from what I understand, the best investment for the cryptos is the one that the government is suing for being illegal. And guys, that's a front, in my opinion. That's a front, because they've sitting on their board is the United States Treasurer of the United States, the one whose signature is on much of your money, the $100 bill. And she's sitting on the board. You don't get people of that caliber on your team unless it's legit. Rosie Rios is her name. Look at $100 bill. See if you don't see Rosie Rios's signature on there. She's not on every one, but on a lot of them. And so when you have people like that, these guys are high end. I mean, they know their stuff and they're totally legit. But once that wins and it's accepted, it becomes the first and only regulated cryptocurrency. And so as we transition out of the dollar, and by the way, if you're keeping dollars in your bank account, you're losing value every day. You need to move that over into something that's stable or it's going to go up. That's why people are buying gold and silver. Now, also, if they have some of these interruptions in power and things like that, we still have to do business. We still have to run around, but we may see food shortages. So a lot of people are stocking up and keeping a couple of months worth of food supplies, and water and things like that, just in case, we have a disruption of freight and deliveries and stuff like this, which is, according to, the information that's been put out, is highly probable, not possible, but probable. So a lot of this stuff is going on. You've got a business run. I know this, and this is off topic. I understand this, but this is important. You don't want to get caught on the wrong side of this. And there's going to occur what's been built up to be the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind over into these new assets. So isn't it good insurance to own a few of them? A few of the XRP, a few of the XLM, and a few of those XDC. It doesn't have to be much. Just get a little bit of that, whatever you can afford to lose, and set it off to one side. Well, not to one side. Get it on a safe wallet. And a wallet is when you have those keys. There's all these codes that you have to copy and save somewhere. And when you have that, you're in a much better position. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I hope I didn't bore you too much with this particular topic, but this is important, guys. And, we got to take care of each other. And if we hold back from this information because we're worried about, being labeled as, some kind of a nut, the world's crazy. And the stuff that comes out of that TV, through the official news channels has been proven to be incorrect time and time again. And in many cases, just outright lies. So you can't believe that. And so we kind of have to, put our heads together and look through some of this stuff and see what reality truly is. And guys, change is on the horizon and it's here. At the time of this recording, April 14th, you saw what the prices were, about 53 cents on XRP and whatever it was, 11 cents on XLM, I believe. They're going to jump. It's going to go crazy. I'm invested in that. I've advised all my friends to do that, as friends. And again, not financial advice, but something for you to think about. Anyway, you guys be safe out there. Listen, we're going to be putting out regular podcasts. We're going to talk more about work. We're going to bring some people in here and have some conversations. Hopefully you enjoy this particular piece. Hopefully it was informative. And if you guys have been exposed to the cryptos, it was probably really basic, but maybe it's a nice reminder for you to, double check your bags and see how full they are and how full you want them. Like I said, I made a big mistake. I had a ton of it, and I just have very little, but I do have some. And so you got to be careful out there. So Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. Hope you guys are enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Hey, it's Pete. A quick thank you for joining me today on HVAC Greatness, or maybe just letting me keep you company as you're out running about. Either way, I sincerely hope that you picked up on something today that might help you and your business progress on your journey to HVAC Greatness. Want more? Make sure we stay on the air. Share the podcast with a friend, rate and review it, and be sure to subscribe to our email list at hvacgreatness.com so that you don't miss anything. This is Pete Ramsey signing out and reminding you why your customers love your business and what makes your company great. In one word, you. So let's keep refining your already good image and make it truly great.